What's up, everybody? It's Francisco from Erratic Cinematic back again, this time with another review. Last week I got the pleasure of seeing 13 hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi, and I figured I would go ahead and put up a review on this. So we'll go ahead and start with that. 13 hours, Secret Soldiers of Benghazi stars John Krasinski and directed by Michael Bay. Now, a lot of people know Michael Bay's style. He's known for big, flashy, very animated and action-filled films. Pearl Harbor, Armageddon, Transformers, so on and so forth. And at the beginning, this is more of the same, actually, but this is actually something very different. This is a true story based on what happened several years ago with the Ambassador Stevens in Benghazi and his unfortunate death, and the men that went in to try to save him and ended up spending a hellacious night fighting off attacks by soldiers there all night until they could get everybody out. Now, I just want to start off by saying that, in my opinion, this is where Michael Bay shines. This is what he does best. These sort of action sequences. There's not a lot of story to tell because I think most of us know the story, and I think Michael Bay kind of took that approach, and it wasn't so much him trying to tell a story as it was him trying to get the audience to relive those moments, to live that experience in a way that we probably don't know. I mean, a lot of us have heard about what happened. Maybe you've even read the book that the movie is based off of, but other than that, nobody really knows what happened. And for those people that don't like to read, there's only so much you can get from videos off of YouTube or things like that. So this was really Michael Bay's telling of the events that took place that night. And right off the bat, I mean, incredible casting. Max Martini, Pablo Schreiber, John Krasinski, the whole cast was amazing. One of the things that I love about this film is Michael Bay didn't try to make a political statement. He wasn't trying to blame anybody for what was going on. He wasn't trying to do any of that. I mean, he did put a little nod poke into the absurdity or absurd reason why certain political members, the reason that they gave for why all this happened. And I'm not going to go into that. If you want to know, you can go Google it, look it up, YouTube it, whatever. But he did give that little nod to, this is what they were told, because it's ridiculous and it is what it is, but Michael Bay doesn't focus on that, and that's one of the great things. One of the things that I love about this movie, though, is every actor really tried hard, and I think was incredibly successful in showing who these guys were, who Oz and who Tonto and who Jack and who Tig, who all of them were, and did such an incredible job in showing the kind of men that they were, and the fact that they're not military contracted, they're contracted through the CIA, and they're not supposed to even be there. I love how there was development with the characters. We see them go in and do these heroic things, and we see them band together and fight off all these bad guys that are coming throughout the night over and over, wave after wave, throughout the movie. And I know I didn't state this in the beginning, but I'm gonna let you know right now. There's gonna be a little bit of spoilers in here, so we're gonna start getting into the nitty gritty of the movie. So if you haven't seen it or you don't want spoilers, click save, come back to this later, and from here on out, I'm gonna be talking about the movie as if you've seen it. So I want to start off with the character Jack, played by John Krasinski, who I think did an amazing job. The movie pretty much centered around him, focused on him and his interactions with the team. Although Michael Bay did a great job of also showing the other characters and their interactions. This was a new step for John Krasinski. We hadn't really seen him do action the way he did it in 13 hours. And it was incredible. And we saw a whole new depth of emotion from him. There were several of my favorite scenes with him in the movie. One of which, when they were tossing the body of Roan off the building after he had died in the last wave of attacks, John's reaction to, you know, them tossing the body over and his just utter, um, it's hard to find the words. He felt it was disrespectful to treat the body that way. It was his best friend. He was horrified to see it. In fact, in the movie he turned. I don't know if it happened in real life, but in the movie he turned around. He couldn't watch the body of his fallen friend and comrade, you know, drop like that to the ground, and it made him mad. It made him angry, and you just saw that. And then at the end of the movie, when he's calling his wife and having to deliver the news, like, hey, you know, Roan didn't make it. I miss you guys. I love you guys. You know, regardless of what you hear, you know, I'm okay. So please know that. Just the raw emotion that came from him in those sequences was incredible. Some of the best stuff that I've seen him do, especially since, you know, he left The Office. And he's done a couple of other roles, but they've been kind of hit or miss for me. Now the different actors that they got to play the other GRS characters did an incredible job. I mean, at the end of the movie, when Tonto's sitting there, you know, throwing up the sign, and he sees the government soldiers do the same thing. Just the relief on his face. He's like, guys, we're okay. They're friendlies, you know, so on and so forth. You know, it was the personification of just relief. One of the great things that I think Michael Bay did with this film was he really got you emotionally invested. Even though you kind of knew what was going to happen, you know, you were still sitting there at times on the edge of your seat, and at times you were just kind of sitting back going, whew, just kind of like everybody else was. When they came under attack, you kind of clenched up a little bit. When the attack was over, you kind of, you know, let yourself go a little bit. When they lost their you know, Roan and the other SEAL, you know, you felt the loss as well. You felt sad. You know, great on Michael Bay. He really gets you invested emotionally. He really gets you in there. It's nonstop from start to finish. I mean, from the time that movie starts to the time that it ends, it's go, go, go. One of the other ones one of the, in my opinion, outstanding characters developments was actually the CIA station chief. I can't remember the name of the actor off the top of my head, but you see I mean, the actor that played him was great, because you see such, you know, I'm in control, and I'm the one who makes the calls, and you do what I say. And then, you know, by the time the attack's coming, and Rowan's telling him, like, look, you're in my world now. You're going to do what I tell you to do. You're no longer in charge, I am. And even through all that, you know, you see him fight for control, fight for power, trying to continue to tell his CIA guys, you know, do this, do that, call your contacts, find a way to get us out of here. And even at the very end, when the bitter end, when the look of defeat on his face, and still him is like, hey, I'm not leaving. There's stuff to be done. And John Krasinski's character saying, you know, my friends just died to save you. You're not going to sit here and tell me that you're going to continue to do stuff. You're going to get in that car and you're going to go home right now. And just the look of like, okay, like it was an incredible performance by him, just to see that development. And there was no need to see the character development. I think it kind of spoke for itself. But it was incredible to see the personification of these real life guys, and the way they were, the way they banded together. I love Tonto's little speech at the end. He's like, you know, we were meant to be together, to go through this together, because no other guys could have done what we just did. And you know, by the end of the movie, you're like, yeah, you're right. You know, you guys were meant to be together. But it's an incredible movie. Like I said, it's great from start to finish. It's action filled. You feel like you're right there along with them, like you're one of the guys to the left or the right. And great movie. Like I said, there's not trying to prove a political point. He's not trying to do anything. He's just trying to show you the events and have you live them and experience them as if you were there. And I think Michael Bay does a great job. I think it's an amazing movie by Michael Bay, and definitely one worth going to see. As a movie itself, you know, I give it 3 out of 5 stars, but for the experience, I give it 4 out of 5 stars. I definitely think, you know, it's worth buying a ticket. It's worth going to see, especially if you've read the read the book, or if you kept up with any of it through the news or whatnot. Go check out this movie. Go see it. Like I said, it's worth the watch. And if nothing else, you'll come away with, you know, a respect for what those guys went through that night and what they did. As always, hit the like button if you like the reviews that we're doing, and check back later for another review of the next movie. This is Francisco Martinez with Erratic Cinematic. Have a good day.